it going, guys? Welcome to a brand new Proyectos Los Carnales. My name is Julio and we are back today with a 2008 Silverado known as La Casper. So this truck, I already uploaded a previous video camming it out. It has a truck X cam and it is my cousin Martin's truck. So I'm kind of, this is a few days afterwards. We're still waiting for the tuner. I wanted to do a cam video, but I decided to do a nitrous video. I was just gonna show the dyno tune, we were gonna run it and everything, but we ran into some issues. So from that, I'm gonna just make a whole different video and hopefully it's worth it for you guys. I'm not gonna do a step-by-step, but I am gonna do a how-to. The difference in that is I pretty much did 95% of the work already, but I'm starting over. So let me go over real quick what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys how to run your nitrous on your trucks that have electric throttle bodies. There's no big difference. There's just a micro switch if you don't have an electric throttle body for the 2000 to 2002 guys with the drive-by cable. We are running a nitrous progressive timer. This makes things 1,000 times easier, and I feel like it makes it smoother for your engine. That way it lets you ramp into your final settings, whatever you want to jet at. Our new solenoids are literally just, I'm not sure if I could get it to zoom in right. It just says in and out. There's no extra part to it or anything. So for that, if you are gonna run a purge line, you have to run some type of T. So you could see that right here I have the inside on the nitrous solenoid. Right here I have the out that runs to this blue line like I had mentioned, but right there it's teed off. Right here, the silver one, it's our purge line. Our purge line has it goes down and then it goes up. We have one exit and two exit. That's the only reason it has two right there. So you tee it off right there on the entrance, on the in. Right here is where our nitrous line is gonna go from the bottles. The reason for that is because the purge gets rid of the air pressure, whatever there's going on, before you actually get the nitrous all the way to the plate. That way you have full pressure going on. So that's why you want to tee it right in front of it and not put them together if it's one of the regular solenoids that has one entrance and one exit only. All right, so as promised guys, I set up the grounds. The fuel solenoid is on. We got the nitrous solenoid, the purge valve. So on all of these, they don't have a polarity, which means these two wires, doesn't really matter which one's ground, which one's positive. As a rule of thumb, I always stick to the lefty loosey, righty tighty. Righty is R for red, which I consider positive. So I just keep that in my mind. It just makes it easier down the line. So the one on the right, I must stick to the positive on all of them. So the ground wire on the solenoid, we have our wire that goes up there right off to the ground. Paint got scratched off and then we put a bolt for it. The ground on this solenoid and the ground on this solenoid, you're gonna merge them and put them both into one, they call it a channel. So this nitrous box has a red, a black, and a blue wire. The red one is for channel 1 so that you could hit your first kit of NOS. The blue one is for your second kit. We're not going too crazy, especially because we're running off the fuel rail. We're only running about 150 shots, so we don't need nothing crazy. This one we're leaving alone. You put both wires inside of a yellow crimp that comes included. It goes to the red wire and bam. All right, so that's the grounds. The positive wires, we have two on this side and one over here. This is for the purge valve and this is for the nitrous solenoid. This is for the fuel solenoid. So all of these I'm gonna run way down here to my relays, and I'm gonna show you guys my relay setup real quick on the side. All right, so I have a brand new relay with the harness just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. You have 4 color wires, red, black, blue, and white. The top 2 relays I have with the blue wire are set up for the solenoids because they're going to the same switch since they're going to the nitrous box. The last purge valve is going to relay all on its own. The reason it's going to itself is because it's the purge valve. That one just has a click of a switch and that's it. Our red wire, you guys could see right here by the roll of tape, I have going straight to the alternator back here. because it's a direct power source, are black wires with these blue caps, right? So you could tell it's the black wire though. The black wire is actually to the ground right here where I set it into the bracket for the alternator. So we have two white wires with this yellow cap. These are the relays for the solenoids, and the one that's on its own is the one wire that is going for the purge valve. So I do have a little circuit breaker, the brown or bronzite, whatever color you want to call that. I have a wire from there going straight to the alternator, getting a direct power source. And then in the bottom right here, I have the wires that go to the switch. So I'm gonna show you guys how that runs real quick. This little spool of wires that I rolled up together are going to the switch inside. All right, moving on. We have our nitrous bracket. So with our nitrous bracket, you're gonna have a couple of big wires, which is the red, the black, the blue. And then this one, I guess, is considered, but let me trace it real quick. It goes down and up. This right here, this weird connector, is the one that goes to your touch screen or display, whatever you want to call it. So it sticks out of here, and it's the one that controls everything. So I have it set up to the switch. When I turn on my solenoids, the actual nitrous kit will turn on. And then I'm gonna leave that. I'm not gonna dig into that. I'll let you guys mess with that because we're gonna take it to the tuner and let him figure it out, since they move the RPMs, they, you know, mess with all these switches. So I'll let him do that when we take it to tune. So the big, I want to say, wire spool or whatever goes to the switch. We have one connector, the skinny one, that's a 3-wire. This is if you guys have like a digital bottle pressure sensor. You could buy it separately from Holley. We weren't using it on this one because we got a gauge that we're gonna put inside, so you don't have to use it. You could buy it by itself. Now the blue wire, like I told you guys, is a channel 2 wire. You guys could actually set it up to run 2 kits of nitrous. The red wire is a single wire, and then the black wire is the first really what is this, like a 10 gauge wire. It's supposed to go to a chassis ground, which we have down there. So we have 2 screws on it, securing it, making sure it's a chassis ground. Now we go to the big connector. The big connector has 8 wires. I'm sorry, it has 7 wires, but it's an 8-pin connector. So if we go to the back of this connector, you have 3 colors: black, orange, and yellow. Orange and yellow I have wrapped up right here. We're not using them. They're to run some other items. I completely forgot, but you don't have to use the orange or yellow. The black thin wire I have right here, I ran it just straight to the body ground. So this is the second ground that this kit needs. And since it's small, you just put it on the body ground. You don't need to put it straight on the chassis frame or anything. And then this is set up way off to the side. It's not going to interfere because I have it right on the edge. It won't interfere with the strut mount or anything. Now with the front of these wires, you have 4 colors: green, white with the red stripe, white with a blue stripe, and solid white. The solid white, like I told you guys, I have the kit set up right here to the switch, so that I have when the switch turns on, it'll turn on the relay to power our solenoids, and it'll turn on the actual kit itself. This is the solid white wire. That's where now the green wire, I just leave these loose. The cover's gonna cover them anyways. I'm not trying to run like a crazy all around and do everything. Plus it'll make it easier if anything ever happens down the road. The green wire, I just pass it right over the intake manifold straight to the cylinder number 4. In other words, it's the second cylinder from the passenger side. You're gonna open up the little section of harness right here where this connector is for the coil pack. So we're on the coil pack connector. We ripped it open a little bit, and there's actually a green wire in there already. I'm not sure if you could tell. It's pink, green, brown, and then black. On the green wire, we just strip it back a little bit so that we're able to do an add onto our green wire that goes to the nitrous kit, and that's exactly where that went. Now the white with blue and white with red, I'm not sure if you could tell, it's blue right there, and then this one is red right there. So these two wires I ran together, these go to the throttle body. So I just taped it up. Like I said, I just looped them over right here, taped them up. Now these wires go straight to the throttle body connector, and it's gonna go to a purple wire. I'm not sure if you could see very well, but there's a wire right there I had taped off. It's purple. You pretty much strip back a little bit of the wire, add both of them together, and then just tape up a little bit. I just taped up enough to where from here moving that way, the engine cover is going to cover that wire. You're not really going to notice it. Alright guys, so we're gonna set up our fuel line. We're going on the fuel rail. It has like a little air valve. This tool is about $6 at AutoZone. We have a handful of them because we're always changing tires on the semis, so that's why we have them already. But it doesn't hurt for $6. You literally just put in the tool right here inside of the little valve, and then lefty loosey righty tighty like everything. And there it is, squirting a little bit of gas. All right, so we have this line right here. It's gonna go on. I want to say it's a -4 fitting, but I'm gonna kind of try to do this real quick one-handed. We'll put it on, and then you just bring it around, and it goes to where it goes. Right here on the throttle body plate, I'm gonna just go over it real quick because these were already on, so I didn't get this on video. But on both sides they have jets, and I'm gonna bring the little baggie and show you guys. So the jet looks exactly like this. If you look super close, it has like tiny indentations. I'm not sure if this GoPro's zooming in correctly or not. All right, well, whatever. So this is roughly what the jet looks like. They have tiny indentations. This is a 23. On the other side I have a 52, I believe, and I want to say we set it up for 100 shot, and then we're just gonna let the guy move it to 150. But let me put this back. Your throttle body bracket is gonna look like that. It's gonna be empty. Obviously it has a space for you to slip the jet inside of it like that, with the ovalish part sticking out, and then that part is going to be held tight when you put in the line. So on these sides you don't need any kind of Teflon or anything. They're AN fittings. They're supposed to fit like that. Once they squeeze with each other, they won't leak or anything. Only time I use Teflon is like on the pipe fitting thread, I would call it. That's the only time I actually use it, because that's where it needs it. But that's how the jets go installed, and obviously it's the same exact thing for the other side. There's no hesitation, no confusion, no nothing with that. All right guys, so I tried to do the best I could to make a clean job. These are the final results. So we already turned on the vehicle, made sure that in there, the big red fuel line back there by the wire is this silver hose that goes down to the fuel rail. We made sure that one wasn't leaking. It's not leaking over here in the solenoid on either end. We turned on the nitrous line, which is the silver one that runs back there. Nitrous isn't leaking anywhere here. We have it running up here to the throttle body bracket. No leak here, and no leak on the red side either for the fuel. So everything's good to go. We tested the solenoids with the kit before installing the hoses, and solenoids were clicking, everything was good. Purge valve we already tested, we are fine. All we have to do now is just buy the little brackets they have, just to like kind of screw this in here and make it look pretty. I have a couple of screws on it. Doesn't really look too bad, but at the same time the little brackets are black and they'll blend in. But that's pretty much it as far as the engine side of the nitrous kit. The nitrous line I have right here. if you look closely, I kind of have it going down there. Let me see. I'm not sure if I could get a good angle on it, but it's somewhere right down there. I promise. I just put it. So I have it coming across the bottom of the frame, and right here you guys could even see that. So right there, our nitrous line comes up. I have this hole, and then it just literally swirls around and plugs into this splitter. So this is just for this particular kit because it has 2 bottles. So on the splitter right here, it goes to bottle 1 and bottle 2. They each have their manual gauge that we could actually read, you know, wherever the pressure's at. But we also have a pressure sensor. When you buy the kit, this sensor is a harness that goes straight to the gauge. And then on the inside right here, we have everything else left over. So we have our gauge pod right here. The nitrous one is on the side. I had brought it up to you guys that we have a switch. This switch turns on both solenoids, and it has power that gives power to the gauge itself to turn on, and the nitrous kit. So all those things are going on through this switch, and then the last switch is for the purge. So I'm gonna hold this right here, the nitrous thing, turn on the switch. We got our screen on, we got our pressure on. So once it goes into RPM and everything, like I said, I'm not really gonna dig too much into this because our tuner is gonna mess with all of this. I want him to be able to set up his shift points and be able to mess with the kit to turn it on and off and not deal with it anymore. So we're gonna move that to the side. The solenoids, I showed you guys how to wire them to the switch. We have both of them coming here, and the white wire that came to the nitrous outlet thing. And then finally the purge is literally just the power that comes in and power that goes out. I'm gonna open the bottle a little bit. So you guys can see our nitrous pressure is now at 895. We haven't warmed the bottle or done anything. I literally just opened it. But that's a good way to tell that the actual nitrous is working and the gauge is working. We got the switches, and then we got the purge button, and we have the nitrous. The last thing is a gauge. Well, before that, let me get to something real quick since we have the bottle on. Just to tell, just a little something right there. And then there's our nitrous going crazy. But as far as the gauge, guys, all the gauges are pretty similar. It has this really long wire. One end goes on the sensor itself, and then the other end, the other little connector like this, plugs into the back of the gauge. That's for the sensor itself. The other part to the gauge, if you guys are running a gauge, just to make it easy, right, these are glow shift. They're pretty simple to install. They're not too bad, and I actually like them compared to other ones. But this is how the other harness looks, and this is the power harness for the unit itself. So you have the 4-prong connector for the gauge. It has 4 wires, which are right here. So it's just like a radio. The black goes to the ground, yellow goes to a constant power, red goes to the switch. We have the red going to this switch, so it turns on and off whenever our switch is on, because we don't want it turning on whenever the truck is on. We don't really have a use for it then. We have a use for it when the nitrous is on. And then the orange goes to the illumination on your headlight switch. I just skipped it. I just put it direct. You can leave it out. It's not really a big deal. So the illumination is just like whenever right here on the Chevys, you turn up or down the brightness on your dash. That's not going to affect the gauge. You want to turn off the gauge, you turn off the switch. Turn on the gauge, turn on the switch. Bam, there you go. No issues, no hesitation. That's the only time you're really going to be using the gauge and worrying about it is when you're using the nitrous kit. But yeah, guys, this is doing everything on a 2008 Silverado. It should work the same for all, you know, NBS and NBS Silverados. We have the wires and everything exactly where they go. and I went over everything for you guys. So if this was helpful to you, let me know. Shoot me a message, like, comment, subscribe. I do read the comments. I try to reply most of the time, so if there's a question or if it helped out, just let me know.
Alright guys, welcome back to PLC, Proyectos Los Carnales. We're out here with little Daniel. He's one of the Carnales, but he don't work on the builds. We out here at All Out Tuning. At the moment, we're getting the truck strapped down, getting it ready for the dyno. We're gonna see how much it makes. We got it on 100 shot. We got Holley to put on the cam. Let's see how it goes. At the moment, it's on 91. Let's see, should be good.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Proyectos Los Carnales here with Martin, and then we got his truck La Casper. It is here getting a dyno tune for his nitrous. They've had us waiting here for a while. He was trying to get a tune for the cam. They ended up saying some things that we're better off doing a nitro tune, and he's gonna end up running a 100 shot on it. We'll see how it goes.